Ask questions before you act. ACT. Ask questions before you act. If you remember in our previous reading, all the tribes of Israel, they got worried when they heard that the tribe of Gad, Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh, when they heard that they built an altar on the west side of the Jordan, or on the east side of the Jordan, they gathered together to make war against them because they thought that they were building an altar to a false god, and that already they had begun to disobey the Lord and to follow their own God. Before they actually march over the Jordan River and attack their brothers and sisters, we're told in verse 13, the people of Israel sent to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest. So Phinehas goes. He's the son of the high priest, and he takes with him 10 chiefs, one from each of the tribal families of Israel, every one of them a head of a family among the clans of Israel. So Phinehas not only goes himself, but he takes witnesses with him to figure out what is going on. Maybe there is a misunderstanding, or this is probably more their motivation, as we can tell from their speech, is they're going to go to Gad, Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh. They're going to go to them and say, "Oh no, come back over here. You don't need to be disobeying the Lord this way." Verse 16, we see that when the delegation gets to them, they say, "What is this breach of faith that you have committed against the God of Israel in turning away this day from following the Lord by building yourselves an altar this day in rebellion against the Lord? Why are you disobeying God?" They said, "Haven't we had enough of this? When we have disobeyed the Lord, bad things happen to us. It just doesn't go well." They talk about what Baal or what Balaam did to them in Peor, and all the great plague that came upon them. They'll even mention Achan and how something bad happened to the entire nation. So they're saying, "Hey, you think you can go and disobey the Lord, but when you disobey, it's going to affect us as well." So they're saying, "Here's an option for you. Rather than you going on the east side of the Jordan and disobeying the Lord, why don't you pass over into the Lord's land where the Lord's tabernacle stands and take for yourself a possession among us? Come back over this side of the Jordan River, on the west side of the Jordan River. Don't stay over there on the east. If you don't like that land, come back over here. But please do not sin against the Lord." And then they say, "Remember Achan, how he broke faith in the matter of devoted things. He took the things that he should not have when they fought the battle of Jericho, and wrath fell upon all the congregation of Israel. They lost the next battle, and then Achan and his whole family perished." And Phinehas makes sure to mention he did not perish alone for his iniquity. So, guys, we're not going to let you keep sinning this way because we're going to suffer along with you. Please don't do that. And this is just a great picture of what a good church family should do. We should be looking out for one another, making sure and trying to help each other to not sin against the Lord. Now, the other tribes end up being incorrect, but notice their commitment to have this confrontation, even though there's tons of miscommunication going on. But because they are being faithful to the relationship, and they're going and they're talking it out, we will see that it will get resolved in tomorrow's reading. But the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, the half tribe of Manasseh says, "No, the mighty one God, he's the Lord." They said, "If it was in rebellion or breach of faith against the Lord, do not spare us today." Yeah, you're right. We should be in trouble if we did this in rebellion. But they said, "We didn't do it from rebellion, but we did it from fear, because we're afraid that in the time to come, your children might say to our children, 'What have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel?' We're afraid that later on, your descendants will talk to our descendants and say, 'You have no part of Israel. We're on this side of the Jordan. There's a dividing piece that God has put between us, the Jordan River, and you are not a part of us.'" And the the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and the half tribe of Manasseh. They're worried that their descendants are going to stop following the Lord because of a confrontation from the other tribes of Israel. So the way to keep them together, they come up with this solution. They say, now let us build an altar. We're going to build a big altar on this side to show that we're in solidarity with the other tribes, with the place where they offer sacrifices. So they said, we're going to build an altar, not for burnt offering, nor for sacrifice. No, this is not a rebellious act on our part. It's a way to show that we are still connected to you, and we want our children to realize that so that they will not forsake the Lord. We're going to see how this conversation continues to go, and we're going to see how it is resolved later on. But we need to make sure that we ask questions before we act, and we want to make sure that we are committed to each other in a great relationship where we're willing to check in on each other when we think the other person may be going astray. That is a loving thing to do, but you want to make sure that you're asking questions, and you kind of hold out the hope that there is just a misunderstanding and a miscommunication. I pray that's been a blessing to you. I'll see you in the next video.